Muscle contraction, normal skeletal muscle, it's a process. It's first, your brain sends a signal to the neuromuscular junction. That action potential depolarizes your circle, and that depolarization shoots down your T-tubules. In your T-tubules, you have your extracellular voltage gated. Calcium goes through your voltage gated channels, and that small part hits your ryanodine receptor, which is an intracellular receptor on the sarcoplasmic reticulum, which is your huge store for calcium, right? So this calcium-induced calcium release is a big process, not just one little teeny thing. In the patient who is susceptible to malignant hyperthermia, they will function fine if they're not exposed to a triggering agent. That ryanodine receptor, which is responsible for that muscle contraction and getting rid of the calcium, they'll be just like me or you until they're exposed to a triggering agent, which we know. And so the contraction, muscle contraction, it continues as long as calcium and as long as ATP are present. I have some pictures to show that here in a second, and I drew them myself, so apologize if they're not up to par. But this will continue as long as calcium and ATP are present, intracellular and specifically with your contractile proteins. ATP initially is produced oxidative metabolism, and once all that oxygen is used up, as would be the case in an MH crisis, anaerobic production of ATP will occur, and you'll get the waste product buildups, and we'll see why that's bad again, just as a review. Calcium is removed primarily. It's removed in three ways. Primarily, though, through circa. I can't say the other thing under it, but it's a pretty important pump on the sarcoplasmic reticulum, and it helps take the calcium that has been released due to the ryanodine receptors activation. It takes it back up into the sarcoplasmic reticulum, and that's a big deal. Because without that, again, calcium, ATP, we can't stop our muscle contraction. Some muscle fibers will contract up to 70 times per second. Bold there is for emphasis of that produces lots of waste if the muscle contraction continues. And in our MHS patient, that ryanodine receptor, instead of precisely regulating muscle contraction like it would do right now, exposed to a trigger, it is just uncontrolled. I mean, calcium just, it's almost, I put excitatory for lack of better words, or maybe just misunderstanding, but it dumps as much calcium as it can get to the point of overload, and if untreated, to the point of death. Hence why prior to dantrolene, which is a specific antagonist for an MH crisis, malignant hyperthermia was the leading cause of death in all anesthesia-related deaths. So, it can be bad, right? The picture, again, I apologize for my drawing. And I drew the red parts. Sorry, in case I didn't draw the others. My red circles. Just showing kind of what we've just discussed. And, these are updated PowerPoints, by the way. I will make them available. If you do have some and they're looking different, these will be made available, slight changes. This picture, I think, does, if you're a visual learner like I am, this explains the whole muscle contraction from action potential down to contraction and reuptake of calcium. And again, we've covered the contraction will continue as long as ATP and calcium are present. And our waste products. Rigor, heat, carbon dioxide, that's fine. Lactate, I think that can become an issue. I haven't taken my boards yet, but I believe lactate can become problematic if there's too much. So, thank you for the laughs. I appreciate it. This, again, I did draw those circles there, and there. There are three ways that calcium gets taken up continual contraction going on. Number 2, right there in the middle, though, that's that